but this one I have to do. And
Oh,
Steve,
it's
I know you're
legend.
gonna. We
The
might run.
legend.
We might run over time, Steve, because this one is gonna be a
Sick.
sad one for me. I have finally sat down and saw the new Matrix. I
Oh
sat
God.
down and I saw the new Matrix, ladies and gentlemen. And let me
The
say,
legendary best Matrix of all time.
Steve, this was one of my biggest disappointments I think I've ever seen in film.
Oh, really? What?
Really,
I can't
really, the new Matrix was that bad. And I'm just gonna go ahead and kick it off right off the bat, my audience. You had one of the laziest scripts I've ever seen in basically being executed on screen. You had a situation where you had them just replaying scenes from the original film just to have these people that are like watching it because they're in the Matrix and they're trying to figure out like how to get Neo out of the Matrix. But Neo and Trinity themselves don't know they're even in the fucking Matrix, which the Matrix also I might want to add is a fucking game that Keanu Reeves is developing, who he made himself as the main character. It's like Dave was talking about in Rescuers. It's a meta. It's a fucking meta. They pulled a goddamn the Freddy Krueger's New Nightmare. They basically did a
Yes,
movie about doing a
within
movie within
a
the
movie.
movie,
Yes, they did the
and
new
it is
Nightmare.
not to mention that, but they don't even try to have the same style as the originals.
They
And
know that
right
kind of,
off the
kind
bat,
of.
no, Steve, the style was not even anywhere like the original Matrix, and it was a complete throw off. I hated the fucking comedy in it. I hated the guy who played Morpheus. That was like, I'm Morpheus. I'm supposed to be here right now. I'm supposed to tell you this shit and all that. And I'm like, dude, whoever fucking wrote this is being a lazy ass just so they can get to the whole rollover of, oh, well, I guess we're still in the Matrix now. I guess we got to start doing the continuation of the Matrix and fighting the machines. But we took a whole fucking almost hour and a half to get to that whole fucking point. It was pointless. And then
Well,
you
they
had the
kind
whole.
of knew what they were telling you what it was, Rob, right out of the beginning with that character, what was his name, Bug
It
or
was.
something like that, the woman
It was.
who is looking at the. So I'm just gonna break down from what I remember of this movie, which is the beginning cuts, the beginning like what the first arc was the beginning of the first film where Trinity
Right.
is hacking and she beats up the police officers, runs, and like what happened? She basically, was going to get killed by the agents, but there's
Right.
somebody
It's different.
looking at this
It's
happen.
different now.
It's different, and then so like that right there, Rob, was already your audience. That she's the audience. She's basically going, it's different. This isn't like the first. So they're making fun of the people that like the Matrix. So that right, and already you
Keanu
knew
Reeves
you
been
weren't going to like
fucked
the
up since he
film.
had that beer gut.
Yeah, oh my, which is why, Dave, they were just like, we're not going to have Keanu really do too much, actually,
No, he
at
didn't
all.
do anything.
He didn't do anything. He didn't fly. He didn't use, well, he used like what, like a little bit of his power, I believe. But then they show you
That's because John Wick been kicking his
twist
ass.
of the movie where there's not one, he's not the one, he's the second, I guess, because Trinity now has the same powers as him. She can fly, and they're going to create a new Matrix
It was a
together.
mockery. This was another movie, Steve, and I know you're gonna know how bad I hated it because I'm gonna say the statement again. Only one time I've ever done this in my entire history of movie
Yeah,
criticism was I almost wanted to stand up in the middle if I was in a theater like I did for Alien Covenant and go,
Alien Covenant,
"This
and
is an
walk
insult
out.
to the Matrix."
Yeah.
No, my audience, for those of you who don't know, when I first went and seen Alien Covenant, I was one of the very first people to go see it. Went and saw it midnight. I stood up in the middle of the theater and said, "This is an insult to Alien." Right in the middle of the theater, right in the middle of all the audience, because I was like, "Oh my god, this is so fucking atrocious." Like, what
Here's the
the hell?
kicker with both those films, Rob. They're made by the original directors from the first films.
No,
So what
I
is the
know.
deal here? Where what's going on? I don't get it.
He's
I
on
Maybe
don't
it's
get
coke.
it.
face.
It doesn't really
Maybe
leave
it's
anything.
face. Maybe Ridley Scott was like in a
He's on
good
coke.
phase. Right. Maybe
Okay.
maybe it's like a Metallica thing. Maybe Ridley Scott, maybe wasn't drinking so
He's
much
on
then.
those good drugs.
This is the
Good
pre-Napster
drugs.
era of
That's what I'm
The
saying,
better
man.
the drugs are, the worse the movies get. Remember that.
I guess.
These two though were like, especially the Matrix was bad. Like I don't even know, like Steve, I'm serious. I
Well,
don't even
that's because they're
know
like
why you
milking
would
it.
put that to the
And think
screen.
about it.
No,
Think about it.
I,
They're not
I,
even
I
going
get
off
that.
of the books.
I get that. I totally get that. I get that. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Dave, that point right now, I'm not saying it's not a valid one, but it's null and void when you have such a shitty fucking script. I mean, there's a
Agreed.
reason you're not talking about the Matrix right now in the new one because it was shit. It was absolute
Agreed.
shit. I'm not saying
All
yeah.
right,
Agreed.
devil's advocate here, Rob, and for Dave too. Did you guys like the Neil Patrick Harris? Like he is
Didn't
the
care.
Matrix,
Didn't
and
care.
he's like the embodiment of it, where he
Didn't care.
it's basically saying
Saw it coming and
you
didn't
guys
care.
need to not you don't need to. I don't even know what he wanted. Like they can't love each other, they can't be together, or the Matrix crumbles, right? Like for some reason now they are the Matrix. They
It's
make
like fucking Vanilla Sky.
yeah. I don't know, but do you think that there is, for both of you, Dave and Rob, do you think this is the end of Matrix? Because it makes it seem
Yes.
like it's the end, but they can also
It needs to
build
end.
upon
I
it.
get what
Oh,
Dave's saying is that they're going to continue the cash flow, but
yeah,
you know
maybe they
what? I'm
continue.
sorry.
No, with
When
Dave
you
on that.
there's a
They should
point
have
of where you
had a
crash and
baby,
burn.
bro. They should have had a baby already. Neo
Big
and Smith
baby,
should have been.
and then the baby's flying
Neo
around. He's
and the one.
Like Son of the
Neo
Mask,
and the
Son
white
of the
girl.
Matrix.
Sorry, I don't know her name. Yes, I don't know the lady's name, but Neo and the white bitch should have had a
Trinity.
baby. The first two regular people to have a baby
Carrie-Anne Moss.
in regular time, like regular people, out the fucking thing on the back of his head, and then they should have been running it from that story point on. The fact that they're just trying to keep going with Neo and shit, it's like, look, dude, yeah, you're the one, but how about you create another one? You, the one, could create the better one. Some Highlander
one.
shit, nigga.
Some Highlander
Give
shit.
me something.
Yeah.
Give
why
me something to
didn't
really
he just
go
say
off
like
right here.
have him the villain, like something different? Because I'm with you
Right.
though. It's
Yeah.
like, why not just have them have a baby? Because this is 20 years after the event
Yes.
of the Revelations, right? So Morpheus is
Revolution.
dead.
Yeah.
Morpheus is dead, and he's now assimilated in the Matrix, where he's able to. I do like that they had the robots. They have that rapport with them still. So the treaty that they had, right? The truce between the machines and the humans. It's in there. But it doesn't make sense because Smith is also back, and he remembers Neo. And I'm just like, yeah, not Agent Smith. It's just, I don't know what they were trying to do. You know what this reminded me of? It reminded me a callback, everybody, for in the beginning of the show, early in the show. It's kind of like the Rescue Rangers, the Chippendale Rescue Rangers, where there's just a smorgasbord of things that you know, but it's not cohesively together. It's like,
I
hey,
understand
remember
what
this
you're
fight
saying.
scene with the? It's like, here's the karate scene from the first film. It's like, oh, okay. And did you notice, Rob, that they totally didn't care about Reloaded or Revelations?
No.
They just went with the first film and this,
which was going to be one next thing.
Sort of like the Terminator films, where they did the same thing when they retconned all the other Terminators.
Yeah, none of that matters.
None of that matters.
You know what that is?
That's this one.
Prime example, my audience, of lazy ass writing. I'll be honest. What were you gonna say, Dave, about the last Matrix before we wrap up?
Oh no! I was agreeing to the fact that they look completely over Reloaded. Like, bro, there's no, like, you guys basically decided what was canon for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, the audience doesn't give a fuck. You made the last movie for the audience specifically, but we don't give a fuck on canon. Cool.
I guess
cool.
I should have
I know you
repeated
hate that
myself.
too, Dave,
Steve.
when they just decided. I'm with Dave.
The Forever Purge wasn't the only movie that canceled itself out. I guess I forgot to mention the Matrix.